shall we start?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you all are doing well. I am so pleased to be with you all this afternoon and chance to introduce the alumna of IITM Noida and the guest speaker for today, Miss Abhilasha Bahadur. She is from PGDM Tourism and Leisure 2009-11 batch, and she is in exhibition industry since 9 years and also worked in domestic as well as the international events. So at present, she is working as a senior assistant director in trade fairs with Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, FICCI. And today she will be sharing with us her expert opinion on journey into exhibitions world. So that's the topic. So now I will hand over the session to Abhilasa. So Abhilasa, over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. First of all, my thanks to IITTM, Pavan sir and Lama sir for giving me this opportunity to come in front of basically a family and share my experiences with you all. So I'll just start presenting the presentation. Okay, so I can see that Delhi vlogger over here is whistling and is in a very good mood. So I will just request him to kindly put your mic on mute. Yeah, so is my presentation visible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so hi everybody, good afternoon. My name is Abhilasha Bahadur. As Lama sir has introduced me, I am from 2009 and 11 batch from IITTM Noida. Now it is now Noida. That time it was in Delhi, and that time was, I guess, the best years of my life. Now I can say after 9 years of corporate world. So I know with this extending lockdown and scorching heat, most of the people might be feeling very frustrated, but I think this time, although this is an unfortunate time, but this is, I guess, the best time for students to hone up their skills and basically to be ready for the market and for the industry which they are going to face after some time. So let's start with my presentation. Well, I am working currently as Senior Assistant Director, Trade Fairs Division in Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, which is FICCI. And well, this Senior Assistant Director, this designation, it looks very fancy, but it is not solely a director wala post. It's equivalent to any senior manager in any other MNC or any other private corporate. So moving on, I'll be taking all the students who are interested to join the events and exhibition industry. I will be taking them in a journey with me to an industry which is a bit niche, which is currently a bit niche, and it has been a niche industry. But yes, it is growing leaps and bounds. But unfortunately, because of this COVID situation, this exhibition industry is also facing a slump. But I will take you through this journey, and I will let you know what all to expect after you join this industry post-college as a fresher. There might be many of my seniors who are here or who might be here, or many of you who must have worked already in this industry and are here. So my presentation, basically, this is based solely on my experiences, and many of you might not agree with many of the points, but this is what I have faced and this is what I have learned in 9 years. And basically, I'll be sharing all my experiences with you. So there is nothing from Google, there is nothing from textbooks, but if something if something matches, then be happy, then that the textbook also tell you what actually practical life is all about. So I'll just start with what all projects I have undertaken. So in FICCI, I work for the international trade fairs. And basically, we take India Pavilion to the already established exhibitions all around the world. So by India Pavilion, I mean we take Indian exporters And we work closely with the Ministry of Commerce, and we work for their scheme called MAI, which is Market Access Initiative, wherein we have to take all the Indian exporters of any particular sector which have been assigned to us, and we have to take them to the established exhibitions over there and make sure that their trading and their business is established over in their market. And so basically, this is a Government of India project that we are doing right now. So, well, the first picture that you're seeing, this was an event on the construction industry, which we had done in Budapest, Hungary. The second image is India ASEAN Expo and Summit. This was an exhibition wherein all 10 ASEAN countries had participated with us. And this was taken place in New Delhi last year in Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium. Third picture is of an exhibition called Africa Health in Johannesburg. Fourth is of an exhibition which took place in Myanmar. And the fourth picture, the last one which you are seeing, that took place in Colombo. That is again a medical and healthcare exhibition. So basically, my division is entrusted with two sectors, which is textile and healthcare, and I look after the healthcare exhibition currently, the overseas projects of the healthcare exhibitions. So moving on. So currently, I am working on the project called Expo 2020, which is taking place in Dubai this year. I'm sure most of you must be aware about it. So is anybody there who can tell me if he or she has heard about this expo or not? Well,
I have heard.
Okay, Debagni, all right. Anybody else? Anybody who's studying right now who have heard about this project? Okay, so I'll take the silence as a no. But the thing is,
we have heard.
No,
yes,
there are
ma'am.
messages
Oh.
that are also being floated.
I have heard that this has been postponed to 2021 now.
Yes, that's right, sir. This has been, unfortunately, it has been postponed to 2021, and it will start from 1st of October 2021 now.
Right,
And
right.
yes. So, okay, so it's glad to know that you all are aware of this project, because this is one of the biggest exhibition projects that India is doing right now. And unfortunately, this got postponed because of COVID situation. Otherwise, it was about to start from 20th of October this year. So I'll just quickly share some interesting facts about this exhibition. Well, this expo was started in 1851 by Prince Albert, and one of basically this exhibition is majorly focused upon the current innovations or like huge technology which are being introduced by any country, or like every country who participates in this exhibition, they come up with their best innovation and best technology and put it forward. And whichever country has hosted this exhibition, they have unveiled one of their top-notch innovation or top-notch buildings of their times. So just to start with, it's an interesting fact actually. In 1851, Prince Albert, when he had started this exhibition, the first thing which was exhibited in this exhibition and which was a highlight of this exhibition was our Kohinoor diamond, which was at that time taken away from us. And it's a long history about this Kohinoor diamond. You can also Google it, and in that Wikipedia page also it is mentioned that for the first time it was unveiled in the World Expo by Prince Albert. So, and there are many other inventions also which have been unveiled in this exhibition. This exhibition basically takes place in 5 years, and one of the many countries, they bid for it, they get it, and they host it, and then their major technology or or any new building or anything, that is the highlight of the show because they unveil it. For example, when Paris had hosted it back then they had unveiled Eiffel Tower. So likewise, it's a very established and it is considered to be one of the biggest shows. And this time, FICCI is the industry partner of this event. And from India, FICCI is taking care of the participations of the major programmings. And I'm involved with the Expo 2020 team. And I'm basically working in the programming and also in the sales and marketing. So one suggestion for you guys, all those who are interested in the exhibition or who are interested in making your career in events and exhibitions, do look out for this expo, because it is going to be a huge expo, and Ministry of Tourism has also said a yes to participate in it. So basically, because this is a 6-month-long duration expo, so we cannot have any static participation, because in 6 months people are going to get bored. So here we are going to have a very dynamic calendar, wherein every ministry or every state, they will be there for 1 or maximum 2 weeks, and then they will showcase whatever their culture is, whatever they basically like to showcase in innovation, culture, art, technology, whatever. So just a suggestion to you all, be on a lookout for this show now that it has gotten postponed. So just be abreast with all the news that is coming about this show. And if Ministry of Tourism, of course, it is participating. So next year, when all the deliberations are going on, I guess, like, we had also put it forward that IITTM should also be one of their presentations over there. So I mean, if IITTM is participating, do look out for any volunteer kind of work or any kind of work that you can get associated in it, because this will be a huge exposure for you all. Don't take this exposure as like some company will pick you up and give you a job kind of an exposure, but this will be an exposure of your own. You will get to learn many things and you will witness something very different. So this exhibition, this time it will be hosted in Dubai, and it has a theme which is connecting minds, creating future. And the sub-theme is opportunity, mobility, and sustainability. So this is the basic layout of this whole exhibition, which is going to take place next year. So we have these 3 districts: mobility district, sustainability district, and opportunity district. And if you can see my cursor, this is going to be India's position. This is India building which is being built up. And 192 countries are participating in it. And we in India, we have got an area of 1.14 acres. And there's going to be a full construction of a building, which is going to be a legacy building. So this is not a regular kind of exhibition where booths are built up and then they're dismantled after the show. So this is going to be an India building, and this will be in a legacy period for around 50 years or so. And after the expo, this will be converted into an India center over there. So, and we are also collaborating with other countries of the world to have seminars or to have some art competitions, or we are also in talk with other countries to host a cricket match, a friendly cricket match as well. So let's see how it proceeds. We had a whole plan ready for it, but because now this thing has now been postponed to a year, so basically we'll have to start every programming from the scratch, because all those ministry and everybody who all had already blocked their calendar and who had already been on board with us. So now everything is going to change. Everything is, and their theme or their calendar is also going to shift. So I mean, we have to start it from the scratch again, but that is part of the job. This situation was unforeseen, and well, it is now our duty to represent India over here in the best possible way. And the Prime Minister office is directly involved in this expo. So I hope that many of you get to see this expo, and because it's in Dubai, I think we will also be taking many students over there. So let's see how things work out. So I'll definitely pitch for IITTM to take their best students over there to show them a glimpse of this expo.
I would request you to take volunteers from IITTM.
Sure, sir. Well, whenever we will start working upon volunteers, I am surely gonna put in forward my college's name.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Most welcome, sir. Okay, so now I'm done with the introduction of what I have done and what I'm currently doing, because I think this expo is important for all those people who all are planning to make their careers in the exhibition and events industry. So coming now to the main topic, which is, well, I will be just telling you my experiences and what I have learned from my experience, what you should expect, what you should do, what you should not in this exhibition industry. And basically many of the things which you will see over here, it will not be only concentrated towards exhibition industry. Basically it will be for every industry where you work in. So it's a general thing, but well, this is all first-hand experience. So I hope that you keep in mind some of the things, and basically you do not repeat the mistakes which I had done in my beginning. So, well, after college, of course, you are faced in a brave new world. Initially, everything will seem very rosy. And when you are in college, when you see many events or exhibitions taking place all around you, you feel that it's a very glamorous world. Yes, it is a glamorous world, but it comes with its own hiccups and it comes with its own struggle. And by struggle, I mean a lot of struggle, unless you have Shah Rukh Khan kind of kismat, but okay, Shah Rukh Khan also struggled a lot initially. So, well, when I had passed, then that time again, it was a time of recession. So, I mean, the economy was slowly, it was coming back together. But initially, well, many of us, we did not get very good salaries, what we were expecting. And currently, again, the economy and the situation has, I guess it is going back. I mean, you all must be aware of it. So I think you should not expect that you will be, I mean, in a jump, you will be getting a salary of say 50,000 or 60,000 rupees. That also doesn't happen if there is no recession in this industry. So do not expect that, do not have this expectation that you will be getting a very handsome salary like par 2 IIM or IIT or IIT or something like that. But yes, there are many, now the situation has, become better than what we were into. So now you get a decent salary, and well, if you're having 1 or 2 or 3 years of experience, then of course you get an edge over the others. But if you're a fresher, just expect that you'll be getting a decent salary, decent enough to pay your bills, but not a lavish salary. तो बहुत लोग बोलेंगे इसमें कि एग्जीबिशन इंडस्ट्री में बहुत पैसा है, but ऐसा नहीं है. Unless you crack something extremely good, that's up to you. But no, do not expect a very, very handsome salary. It is, I mean, it's a long way to go to have a good salary in hand. And then there is tackling unwanted tasks. What I mean by this is basically when you first enter your office or you're in this industry, so you might feel that you'll be learning a lot, you'll be like sitting with in the board meetings and stuff like that, and then you'll be given all sort of responsibilities to give ideas, to give suggestions, and everybody will look up for that. No, that is not going to happen in one go. So when you are there, you are a fresher, you must be the most junior employee in that firm. And basically, most of the times what I have seen, like I have done it and now I see what happens to the freshers. I'm not trying to like scare anybody away over here, but I'm just giving a reality check. So if you're there, you might be given tasks like database enter kar do, or like start doing calls and like do a visitor promotion for us. Again, visitor promotion sounds very exciting, but the promotional part, which you might be handling, that will be subjected only to picking up the call, calling up people and telling, sir, aisa event hai yahan pe, are you coming or not? Yes or no, you are just taking there, you are not taking there, and that is it. So it might sound very boring, but you must do it. And I know you don't have any choice but to do it, but don't get frustrated over it. Because this is something which 5 or 6 years down the line, you will be asking the freshers to get it done. And if you know how it is done, or if you know कि कहाँ पे हम लोग हम कहाँ पे लूप छोड़ देते हैं और वेयर ऑल वी सी अच्छा ठीक है चलो इसको छोड़ दिया तो क्या हो गया एंड वी आर लाइक इसको कॉल नहीं किया तो क्या हो गया. सो लेटर ऑन यू नो all those excuses which you used to make or which you never used to do. So when you are a senior, you know why that job is not going to get done or why is there a lack in getting that job done from your junior. So you know everything and then you handle the situation differently. So, I mean, if you're given those tasks, then just do it. But yes, of course, be always ready and be always willing to take up new tasks. You can always go and talk to people and talk to your seniors in the office to give you some other tasks apart from these tasks. Because it's an initial phase. I mean, you just learn. You cannot just sit there and see कि जो हमें मिलेगा हम वही करके खत्म कर देंगे. Sorry, that's not gonna help. You just go and you seek for some jobs, seek for some tasks, and get it done. Then once the exhibition is on, once you're there on field, well, there is no getting back to your proper routine. And I'm not telling this that you have to do it like all 24/7 or something like that. I've written getting used to working odd hours. So yes, exhibition industries, you have to be very much ready to working extremely odd hours. Like in the night, you work for 12 or 1 or 2 p.m. and in the morning, you have to like at 6 a.m. you have to get up, get ready, and by 7 or 7:30 you have to be ready on the field. So it is when the expo, when any event or when any expo is on, you have to be on your toes and you have to be like, you will not have any good time to have your meals, your proper meals, your proper sleep, or you cannot even think about going to hang out with your friends. So usually an exhibition or an event lasts for 3 to 4 days. So just consider that whole week you have to be there on the site and you have to be there for work. There is nothing else that you can do during that time because you are being given responsibilities. And of course, at the last moment, there are so many things that take place that you cannot skip any of those work. So you have to be on your toes, you have to work odd hours, and of course, meals do get skipped, but try not to always keep a sandwich or some biscuits or anything handy with you so that you don't faint, basically. So, and there, of course, there's going to be a lot of work pressure. So because in many organizations, there are exhibitions in very quick successions, like in 1 month, 2 months. So you always have a lot of work pressure. But again, that is a test of your time, that how you manage your work as well as your personal life. So, but I don't think it's that difficult once you get a knack of this whole routine. So after a year or so, you get very used to it, and you have to look after your health, and thereafter you have to look after your work also, and just make sure that everything is delivered on time. So yes, but one thing, let me assure you that once you are on the field, once the event is on, once you are involved in the operational works on the field, it is very exciting. I mean, you will have a lot of fun with your team members. You will get to learn lots of new things with the vendors, with the electricity people, with the main management team. I mean, it's a lot of fun, and I have thoroughly enjoyed this event run period. It is very exciting. So I'll just quickly go through the basic elements of the exhibition industry. You might be getting all these points in your textbooks. So in reality, also in practical things, also these all the basic elements which are there. So all these elements, they all have many sub elements as well. So I'm not going to go that deep, because once you are in the industry, you will get it first-hand experience. I mean, I don't need to give you everything theoretically, because you will get bored as well for that. Just a gist of it, of course, you need to know your budget. What is the budget of your whole show? So many of what I have seen that, because before FICCI, I have worked in some private organizations and some MNCs as well. So what I have seen that they don't show you their budget, which is not a good practice, I believe. You can always ask what is the budget of the event which you are working on. Because most of the time they play it really tricky that once the event is over and when you go for your performance appraisal or anything like that, so they will tell you, "Acha, theek hai, tumne to event apna loss mein kiya tha, so we cannot give you this, we cannot give you that." Don't fall for that. Always ask about the budget. And if they're not telling you, then be prepared for an answer like that. And you can always use this as your negotiating point in your appraisal or in your performance related meetings when you have. So always ask for your budget and know your budget. So accordingly, you are also aware that how much expenditure you have to do and how much income you are getting, and how you have to plan your things. So of course, this comes on a later stage, but if you are inquisitive enough to ask about it, you will learn many things about budgeting way beforehand. So that will give you an edge, because I have learned this budgeting part quite later in my life, because now in FICCI, most of the things are transparent over here, so it's fine. But yes, that's an important part. Sector, you need to know on which sector the exhibition is gonna be conducted. For example, if I am working on healthcare sector, so I usually try to gather all the information which is floating around the market related to healthcare industry and the medical exports which are taking place, and especially all those countries where I'm putting up my show. So sector is one important show on which sector actually you're planning your exhibition to be. Planning of parallel events, of course, you cannot rely on only one exhibition, only one like display of booths and meetings and everything. You need to have some parallel shows as well, which will keep the visitors busy and which will generate curiosity in the visitors that, okay, some more events are taking place within this events. So that obviously gives an edge to your exhibition. Now, mostly, most of the exhibitions, they do this. I mean, they have a parallelly running conference, parallelly running the seminars or workshops, etc. So it's always good to have something in the sidelines of the main exhibition as well. This engages the audience very well, and this also gives you a lot more revenues that what you must be getting from doing only exhibition. Database, yes, of course, you need to have a very strong database to reach out to the exporters, to reach out to the manufacturers, to bring them on to your platform. So, and not only for the exporter database, you also need a buyer's database. So, I mean, collection of database is very important, and the richer your database is, the richer your reach is in the industry. By marketing collaterals, well, you must be aware about these marketing collaterals. They are just the brochures, the e-flyers, the e-signatures. You have to sit with your team on these things. You have to brainstorm a little about what will be the design of your flyer, your brochure, what all content do you want to have in it, and how you want to present it so that it is catchy and people get attracted towards it, and why basically should they join your show. So there are many aspects involved in marketing collaterals. Initially, you might not be involved in brainstorming over it, but yes, initially, later on in your career, definitely people are going to ask you ki aapko kya chahiye iske content mein, and how exactly do you want the design to be. So there is no harm in I guess looking after. In fact, you can just go after all the marketing collaterals which IITTM publishes. So I mean, you can get ideas from there also. This all are going to help you in the future. Okay, floor plan is a technical part. It is basically an operational part, and it's a very important part of one expo. So I have just prepared one more slide for floor plan, which I'll be giving you a basic introduction or a quick knowledge about how this floor plan works. So I'll tell that to you later in my later slide. Association collaborations, it's something very easy. I mean, if at all I'm going to have an exhibition on, say, tourism sector, so definitely I'll reach out to your associations like ITA, PATA, ITO, etc. And of course, I will ask them to circulate information about my show to their member database. Come on board with us as our associate partner. Help us reach out to more people in the industry. And in turn, we give them some deliverables like their logo promotion, their any of their senior members to come on board with us, or as a speaker, a top-notch speaker or something like that. So it's a very give and take kind of thing that goes around. And usually associations are also very much keen to get associated with such shows. Media partner, of course, you need to have a better reach in the industry for visitors to come for your show. So you need to have a media partner, and mostly media partner, they come on board for exhibitions on barter basis. But I mean, media partner necessarily it is not very much required for every show. But yes, if at all your show is on a bigger level, if there are more than 100 exhibitors or so, then definitely media partners are always welcomed. Okay, vendors. So vendors are again a very crucial part of organizing an event. So I mean, if you're having, like you see that if there is a wedding or something, you have catering ke liye alag vendor, lighting ke liye alag vendor, you have dresses or in sab ke liye alag vendor. So likewise in exhibition industry also we have various vendors. One vendor will look after the construction, one vendor will look after all the furniture, another one will look after all the arrival and accommodation of the guests, which happens in your MICE industry. So everything is very much interconnected, and vendors, of course, and vendor management is again a very different study altogether. So vendor management is also one thing which you will be doing maybe later on, but yes, you will be doing vendor management. And promotions, of course, very rightly said by Philip Kotler and very rightly mentioned in his book about the 4 P's of promotion and the 4 P's of services. So there are many bookish knowledge which are there, which you actually put in forward in the industry. So यहाँ पे इतना ऐसा नहीं होता कि जो theory में है वो इतना practical में नहीं हो रहा, नहीं, which is there in the theory, that also is taking place in the practical life as well. Okay, sales. So sales is again the backbone of any of the exhibition which are going to take place. And again, a fact check if your communication is good, if you are if you think that you are very presentable, or you are easily able to manage any situation, most of the organizations are gonna offer you sales, the profile of sales. Just try to negotiate with them to give you some other job apart from sales as well, because if once you enter sales industry, it's very once you enter sales market, it's very difficult to go away from it, because of course people get lured to sales market sales profile as well, because that is very lucrative, that gives you incentives also. But again, in the long run, it has a lot of pressure. So I would not prefer like most of youngsters to go for sales. But yes, I mean, mostly people, they ask you to come for sales profile only because they need younger people to go out to the industry to keep running and to bring in revenues. So yes, that happens in the market, but you must try to negotiate for it that you want to do something else other than sales. Do not say no to sales, but yes, do something other than sales. Well, B2B matchmaking, BSM, RBSM, this might be a new concept for you, because not many MNCs, they go for it. So basically, once you take your exporters on one platform, you need to give them some buyers. So B2B matchmaking is a funda wherein you prefix the meetings of your exhibitors with the buyers or the visitors who have reached you. So it is also a long process, and it is done basically to give a kind of ROI to all the exhibitors who are participating with us. And BSM is buyer seller meet, and RBSM is reverse buyer and seller meet, wherein BSM we take Indian exporters, Indian buyers to other part of the world, and reverse buyer seller meet is where we ask other part of the world to come over here and do business with our just to have business meetings with our like Indian exporters or Indian traders. So basically, in RBSM and BSMs, the tickets and air travel, usually those are borne by the company who is organizing, and it is mainly government funded. Of course, in the last, you have execution. When you go, you execute the event. The most fun part of the exhibition industry is execution. You learn a lot, you fail a lot, you do a lot of mistakes, but you come out victorious. At the end of the day, you are very much satisfied with what you have done, irrespective of how the show goes. But There are so much work that you always feel fulfilled in yourself that you have done something. So if people are listening to me, can anybody just tell me what do they understand about, or what do they think post-event work might be? Well, I hope I am audible. Okay, can people hear me? Because I don't hear anything. Okay, so yeah, I can see one. Okay, I can see the replies over here. Yes. Well, Piyush Pratap is mostly right. And Tapas is also right. You keep in touch with your clients, you do bill settlements of vendors, you take feedbacks. Yes, very good, very right. You do thank you letters. Post-show report, that's a major thing. You come, you collect all the information, you make a good post-show report, which makes a base for your next event. Make sure to have a really good and very impressive post-show report. Most of the time, yes, if we fake some of the information as well, because we don't want to lose out on our customers for the next events. But yes, I mean, make a presentable post-show report. Don't be very bombastic about it that, okay, your exhibition garnered 10,000 visitors or something, because sooner or later, jhoot pakda hi jata hai. Don't do that, but yes, make it very presentable, make it very statistics oriented and with lots of testimonials. So that, of course, helps you. And then there are some press releases as well, which if you have anybody from media team, they do it. Otherwise, it's always good that you do it and send it. So it always gives you brownie points. Next year, booking, updates, yes. Piyush and Tapas, you both are very much right. Malvika is also right. Dhruv, of course, is very right. Very good. So, okay, so I'll just run you with a very quick tip on understanding the floor plan. If people have already been in the exhibition industry, they might be knowing about it. But just a very quick tip. So here you see, I have made it in grids, and this is a graphical representation. So if you consider, say it is stall number D, and you see stall number D is over here. It is a two-side open stall, and you see one panel. This is of 1 meter width and approximately 2.4 meter height. So it is on your floor plan, it is calculated on meter basis. So this is 1, 2, and 3 meter panel. This is again 1, 2, and 3. So this is all together 1, 2, 3 into 1, 2, 3. 3 into 3, this is altogether a 9 square meter booth. Likewise, if you see over here, this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 1, 2, 3, this is 4 into 3. This is a 12 square meter booth. It looks a bit difficult in the beginning to understand, but this is actually a cakewalk once you understand the basic elements of a floor plan. So this is the base of your sales if you're doing sales, and mostly you send this to the exhibitors, they select their stalls, and then you sell these stalls to them. So mostly for corner booths, we keep a 10 or 20% surcharge, but like you see, like E and B, this is just one side open booth. So I mean, we don't mostly charge for it. But yes, these are only one-sided open booth. These are also 9 square meter booth. But of course, the corner booths, they give exhibitors more visibility. So they are always running after corner booth. So, and these are all calculated in meters. Mostly square feet is very rarely there. So like these are calculated in meters. So, I don't know how many people will be answering, but can anybody tell me what is the total area of this booth? If A, B, C, D, E, and F is combined into one single booth, then what will be the total area based upon the calculation? You can calculate the grid. Okay, so I'll run out of time. So I'll just tell you, this is over here, it is 6 and it is 10. So I believe this is going to be a 60 square meter booth. Okay, quickly running over the next slides. There are basically 3 pillars in an exhibition organization or in any organization per se. But yes, an exhibition organization is sales, marketing, and operations. Operation basically requires you to be more dealing with the vendors and being on the field, and it is a bit of mathematical calculation as well that you do here. Sales and marketing, I'm sure you all are aware about this right now. Just try to negotiate to go into either marketing or operation, because these will give you very good insight into the industry, as well as, I mean, it will prepare you to be ready for any other industry as well. Sales you can do for any industry, but for marketing and operations, you need to learn. So just try and negotiate with your boss or anybody to give you work related to marketing and operations, or it's very good, or it's always better that you end up landing in any of the two profiles. So operations, there are not many jobs in the market, so that's why people usually run for sales, because that is more money. But for learning purpose, I would say operations and marketing, they are very good learning tools. Okay, so coming to the do's and don'ts to survive in the industry, these are very basic ones. And again, this is not only exhibition industry centric. These can be taken up for any industry that you're working in. It's also for tourism, it's also for events, it's also for any other sector. So of course, keep enhancing your skills. You might be very good in communication, you might be very good in problem solving and stuff, but don't just rely on it, just keep on enhancing them. Learn new skills. So, okay, fine. You can learn guitar or something out of your hobby, but here from new skills, I mean that you should learn something related to your work. Like, for example, I will always recommend you all to learn Corel Draw, because this floor plan aspect of the event exhibition part, it is always easier to make them on Corel Draw, and people mostly they make it on Corel Draw. I am now trying to learn it, because initially I had a lot of trouble. I mean, every time I had to make it on a Excel sheet or something and then like send it to the exhibitors. That doesn't look very professional as well. Plus, in Corel Draw, of course, there are many features that you can incorporate in it, and it will look very presentable. And of course, you will sound very professional with it. So you will not get, you will not always get a designer or a Corel Draw expert in your office. So it's always better to learn it yourself. Try to be up to date with the industry or the sector that you are handling. It gives you an edge over the others in sales, and also it like opens up your brain to a lot of things. Make mistakes, of course, that is inevitable. You will make mistakes. Don't be afraid of it, but don't be very casual about it. Okay, fine, making mistake is fine. I'm gonna make 10 mistakes. No, I mean, make mistakes, fine, learn from it, and then go about it. Take out time for yourself. It's very difficult to take out time for yourself when the event is running. You get really clogged down. So whenever you get time, especially if you're outside your home town or wherever, just take out some time in the evening or whatever for 1 or 2 hours. Go out with your colleagues, make the most of that time, roam around the city where you are in, and then come back refreshed to like start running again the next day. Keep in touch with your seniors in the industry. I mean, I will recommend just keep in touch with your immediate seniors, or max to max your immediate to immediate seniors, because they are also fresh in the industry, and they can also guide you in a better way as to what new is happening in the industry, or how they can solve your curiosity about the industry or about the organization where they are in. But yes, don't think of them as a ladder to get you a job. No, they can only try. They can only guide you. And of course, they can only pass on your CV to their management, but they are not a guarantee to like get inside an organization. So don't treat them like that. Treat them as your guide, and of course, you are going to succeed in it. And attend the exhibitions. I will recommend it to the students over here also, that once this COVID thing is over, and if you are still not out in the industry, and if you still have some time, just go out and attend the exhibitions which are taking place all around in Delhi only. You must have been attending IITF or SATA or all those exhibitions, but I mean, just go and network with all those people, and network with your seniors, network with the industry. Start doing it, and it's going to help you a lot later on. Don'ts are very easy. I don't think you should be doing this now as well if you're a student. Do not think yourself bigger than the organization. Fine, you must be having big ideas, big ambitions, everything. Always discuss it with the management. Don't think that you can outpass them, or you can just climb them up and then do something which is not allowed, or which is not professional, or something like that. Do not be lazy. Do not be late. That gives very bad impression. And just do not find any excuses. I mean, not even when you're studying. Don't find excuses. I mean, you are in the industry, you're expected to do some work, do it and then set an example. Do not find any excuse. Never hesitate to give any idea. Even you feel it might sound foolish to some people, fine, it might sound foolish, but it's never bad to give any ideas. Always give your ideas in front of the table. And if it is utterly bad or something, people will, at least they will appreciate that you came up with it. Unless there are highly egoistic people around you, then the story is entirely different and you have to deal like that. But yes, never hesitate to give your ideas. And the last one is, do not lose patience. Yes, this industry, I mean, the service industry, it asks for a lot of patience. It might not give you an overnight success, but yes, slowly and steadily, when you find a grip in the market, of course, you start gaining momentum and you feel more closer to your ambition. So there might be many students who might be wanting to participate in exhibitions and not be the organizer of an exhibitor, like many of tourism students or who all are planning to have their own company, or if they will be working in the tourism sector, they might be they might be participating as exhibitors in some tourism exhibition. So just some tips for them. When you are the exhibitor, then you need to negotiate very hard. I know that if मैं अपने पैर पे कुल्हाड़ी मार रही हूँ, but okay, fine, that's okay. You need to negotiate very hard. You need to fix your meetings with the organizers. Do not just rely on them that they will fix kar hi denge. Just have a continuous follow up with them. Do fix your B2B meetings. Do your homework very properly of that market, of the whole exhibition. Just learn about that particular exhibition from previous exhibitor or any of your friends or anybody in the industry, how that industry is, before investing your money in that exhibition. Well, so now how the exhibition industry is working in this time where nobody can travel, nobody can go anywhere. So this is the concept of virtual expo. It is an old concept, but now it has come in vogue. So it is everything you do on your handheld devices. It's your laptop, your phone. You can just attend an exhibition. I'm just like put up a template over here. So if you click on Learning Center over here, you will be entering Learning Center, food and beverage hall. I don't know. I mean, if that's not going to help you because you cannot have a digital or virtual food over there. I don't know why they have put it up. So there are seminar halls, networking lounge, and there are B2B lounges. So you can just one click, you enter that lounge. There are other people also who have entered that lounge. You can click on them. You can do your business. You can negotiate with them. You can have video calls with them. You can discuss your price, and everything over here will be closed door. So this technology is actually very good. It's gonna keep our jobs. Otherwise, I mean, exhibition industry, it must have fallen off. Again, so this is again a template of this virtual expo. I will suggest you all to kindly go through this virtual expo concept as well, because in this time, I don't think for a year or so we are going to have any kind of physical exhibition. So this is very important. And all of those of you who are passing out recently, you need to have a fair concept of fair idea of this concept. So do start learning about virtual expo if you're serious in making your career in here. So that is all from my side. Thanks to all of you. And now I welcome questions.
Thank you, Abhilasha, for a wonderful and informative session.
Thank you, sir.
Learners have gained a lot of insight. Your presentation was really good. So
Thank
now
you so much.
it's open house for the questions.
You guys can type in your question in the chat box as well.
Yeah. Okay, so Munesh and Piyush had given the answer to my question, which is 60, and you are absolutely right, Munesh. Yeah. So your question, if you all are having. Well, you all can ask questions here. I keep getting questions from previous IITM students on my LinkedIn inbox. So why not ask me here?
Is it audible?
Is somebody asking a question, sir?
Okay, I believe everybody has understood everything that you tried to tell
Piyush
them.
has a question. Piyush has a question. He has typed it down. Do you think after this COVID-19 exhibition, industry can survive? Yes, Piyush, that's what I was mentioning right now, that we thankfully we have an alternate called Virtual Expo. And soon we are also going to launch this exhibition, Virtual Expo. FICCI has already launched one. It will be from 22nd to 25th of June. And but it's all password protected, so I'll have to check. If I get a password, I'll sure be sharing it with you also. You can get a look and feel of how the Virtual Expo works. So basically, Piyush, exhibition is a platform wherein people, they want to utilize it because in one stop they meet many buyers. They don't have to hop into countries to get buyers, but in one stop they meet many buyers. So this industry, yes, it is sure to survive. But yes, it has seen a slump right now. But of course, with Virtual Expo and everything coming up, this will survive. Okay, I have another question. If I want to give presentation, how much time it requires in exhibition? Presentation on basically what?
Tapas, you can switch on your microphone and ask.
How the trend would be changing in this industry after the ban. Okay, Yashwant is saying on any product. Well, that depends. I mean, I guess you are telling this if you are an exhibitor, right? How much presentation it requires an exhibition on any product. I mean, that's purely, it purely depends upon you. I mean, what your product is and how much explanation you want to give about that product. But it's always good to not make it very lengthy, very much understandable to your prospect. And if it is 10 or 15 minutes, I guess that is more than enough.
Hello.
Okay, so I have a question with, okay, Tapas has asked how the trend would be changing in this industry after this pandemic. Likewise, I said that yes, there is going to be job crunch, there's going to be a slump in the market in the exhibition industry, yes. But I mean, not many or not all the exhibition industry, they are going in for the Virtual Expo because it is a new thing for the industry as well. So I think in this year, it is going to be an asset test for all of us. We will be launching Virtual Expo. We'll be seeing how the industry responds to it. And only then it will be decided how much of it will be adapted by all the exhibition companies. But yes, after, I guess, this COVID is over and I know this is going to take too much of time. But once this is over, I think this industry should get back together in another like 6 or 10 months post this COVID thing. Not now 6 or 10 months, post this COVID thing. It will take time. Okay, post COVID-19, what would be the challenge for a fresher to join a company? It's a question by Shrijan. Okay, Shrijan, so yes, there is going to be a challenge because right now even we are also asked not to take any decision in a harsh manner and leave our job or something like that because yes, there is not much job in the market right now. But many of okay, apart from Virtual Expo, many of the companies are also delving into digital B2B platforms. So they are also providing a marketplace or a one-stop solution for people to just come over there and interact with other buyers or other sellers. So most of the companies are doing that as well. So you can do a fair research. What I would suggest that all those who are looking after, who are scared that what is going to happen in the exhibition industry, I would just suggest you just type on Google top 10 exhibition companies. Just talk to your immediate seniors what is happening right now in the industry. Just Google the top 10 companies over there. Just write to their HR that you are interested to have an internship opportunity or whatever in your grace period or in your internship period or wherever, just start reaching out to those companies. So at least you are there in their inboxes. So that, I mean, once this epidemic is over and once this pandemic is over, you are not completely lost in the market. At least you have made some connections. And of course, you all can reach me also in my email ID. I'll provide my email ID as well. And just be on a lookout. So of course, this industry is going to give you some of the challenges, but not for very long, because this industry is going to come back. And many of the like FICCI is doing a lot of stuff, and exhibition is one part of FICCI. So likewise, there are many companies whose main project or whose main they are striving on exhibitions only. So they all are not going to just close down in a jiffy. They will definitely come up with some alternatives. So yes, job will be there. Of course, you will have to negotiate in the salaries, but yes, jobs will be there.
Okay, I have a question, Abhilasha.
Yes.
It is a very silly one, maybe, but how important is industry knowledge, like the exhibition, which is the parent industry, like exhibition of, let's say, medical instrument? How important is the knowledge of getting the knowledge of medical instrument important in this field?
Yeah, so that's what I had mentioned also in my do's point, that you need to know, like, keep abreast with all the sector that you are dealing with. For example, if I'm doing a medical instruments show and I'm pitching it to any of the exporters who is exporting medical instruments. So if he asks me, for example, if I'm doing an event in Sri Lanka and I don't know what is the limitations over there for exporting any goods or exporting any medical instrument, so then he will think that I'm a fool sitting in front of him and I don't know what I am actually I'm actually selling him. So he will of course ask me what is the situation over there, whether I should go or not. So I should be able to give him answers to all those questions. So I can tell him obviously, okay, Sri Lanka, there is a lot of, that's a long procedure to register your product and it's a long process. But yes, of course, I mean, if you go there, if you start making your contacts, they are going to help you make that longer process short. So I need to have those understanding, not exactly whole of the industry's understanding, but yes, the basic understanding of my sector I should have.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a question from Rishabh. What will be the scenario of exhibition industry in India, as China was one of the major players in hosting various international exhibitions, and now post-COVID, will exhibition flourish in India? Yes, that's a very good question. And the thing is, no. From China, like if you are reading the market studies these days, so many companies who were investing in China or who were doing business in China, they are moving out from China, and which is the only way possible for them. So they are mostly, I mean, with our government, they are pulling those companies towards India also, and mostly those companies are diverting into other ASEAN regions also, mainly Vietnam, Cambodia, and other ASEAN region, I guess Philippines as well. So yes, people will be migrating from China, and yes, this is going to affect our exhibition industry also, because yes, we used to have a lot of Chinese companies coming over here. So yes, that slump down, that we will have to look after. That surely is going to happen. So again, now we'll have to keep China aside a bit. I'm not being racist or anything over there, but practically speaking, we'll have to keep China aside of it, and then we'll have to focus more on other countries right now. So exhibition industry was not mainly dependent upon China that it will not flourish. There are also many other countries. Of course, China se major participation आता था, major होता था, but of course, if that is not there, then of course, in Plan B, there will be other countries also ready to invest here and come here for the expo. So that's of course, and that's going to be taken care of. Can we take our domestic exhibitions to international standards? Well, Rishabh, there are many domestic exhibitions happening in India which are actually international standards. There are many international exhibitions which are not even to Indian standards. So we cannot make international exhibitions a parameter for our shows. If you see the exhibitions which take place in Bangalore on Crayon, if you see the exhibition over here, which is which is organic auto expo and stuff. So those exhibitions are par excellence, I believe. So we cannot compare it. If you see many of the international exhibitions, they are also not in a very good manner. They do not show it in a very good manner. But yes, if you compare it with Hanover Messe or something, then of course, I mean, that stage we are yet to reach. But of course, in many ways, we have already shown very good exhibitions in our country as well. Okay, Shrijan, will there be decrease in outside companies participating in Indian exhibition industry, and it will be active for how much duration? Well, Shrijan, this is again a question which entirely depends upon the COVID situation right now. Of course, it will decrease. Of course, like our going out is also decreased, and their coming in is also going to be decreased. But as in the virtual platform, of course, they can come over here, and we are expecting a good response over there because at the comfort of their home, they can meet their prospective clients on a virtual platform. So that might become a hit. That might become a new normal. But currently, I mean, answering to your question, it all depends upon how soon this COVID situation gets over or how soon the vaccination comes. So I think एक साल तो अभी कहीं नहीं गया for the things to come back to normal.
Okay, the last question now from Tapas.
Okay, for arranging local services, event companies deals with DMCs, or they directly get in touch with local vendors. Okay, how this whole process takes place? Just a brief idea. Maybe a silly one. No, this is not a silly one. I was saying it's a very authentic question, and you have asked it keeping in mind that if you are in the industry, then how you are going to deal with it. So, okay, so it depends. I mean, we cannot deal with DMCs as much. I mean, for example, I guess if you're asking me that if I'm doing an exhibition, say in Europe, in any place in Europe, and so will I be taking help of a DMC or will I be taking my own local vendor? So it takes place both ways. So we always take the quotation from DMC, and if they're giving us good quotation or something like that, then obviously we go with them. But we need to know their history of the shows that they have done, and there is a lot of quality checks that we need to do. But if you have any Indian vendor or any local vendor that you already know about and you know that he is giving you a cheap services and the best service, then why not take him? So again, it depends upon the management and they'll take a call on it. But yes, I mean, you can always give a comparison sheet to your management to decide upon. And whichever is the best, you can take it. There is no harm in taking a DMC, and there is again no harm in taking a local vendor.
Right then, thank you so much, all the people who have participated here. Thank you, Abhilasha, once again.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay,
And
there was one more question, but that is directed towards tourism industry. So I think how the tourism industry going to be after COVID-19? So that is a question which our teachers will address. So I mean, Yashwant can.
It is going to be better than what it has been in the last 2 months or so. So tourism industry is going to bounce back. That is for sure. And I think the catchword will be Aas Paas Dekho in the coming 1.5 year. It will be like that. You venture into a destination which is say 500, 700 kilometers from your place. People will try to avoid long distance travel. This is what I foresee. But yes, people will come out. People will come out. Domestic tourism is bound to get more than international tourism. Right. So I don't think so. There will be too much of impact. Domestic tourism will cover up for the rest of the things. But yes, 1.5 years, we will be in a little bit of decline, I would say, not growth. Right. So, Abhilasha, people are asking for your email ID.
Yeah, I have given that, sir. I have provided that. Shrijan has asked, I think I'll just take a big question. Post-COVID-19 international exhibition, will it become costly? The answer to it is yes, it must.
So thank you, Abhilasha. On behalf of IITTM family, students, teachers, faculty, staff, I thank you once again. You have been bringing laurels to us in FICCI, and I was surprised to visit FICCI for a meeting and meet you all over there. And for the students, there were at least a dozen of our pass outs in FICCI. So I at times feel proud. You go to any office and you will shout out ITTM and somebody will drop in from somewhere. Okay, sir, you said ITTM, we are here. So FICCI associations like FICCI, ASSOCHAM, CIA have plenty of ITTM Noida pass outs working there, and this is also a good area of opportunity for making career. So with this, I'll thank you once again, Abhilasha. And there's an announcement for tomorrow. Right, most welcome. We have an interesting session again tomorrow, which is on travel writing and travel blogging, which will be taken by Miss Lakshmi. She is the #1 rated travel blogger and travel influencer in the country. So as part of our Industry Speaks tomorrow, we'll meet again at 12:30. Thank you so much. Thank you.